Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're someone who's looking to start with your baking journey and don't know where to begin, well, today I'll be sharing the 10 most essential baking tools needed to start with your baking as a beginner. But the question is, why do you even need the right baking tools? Well, let me tell you, over the years I have been collecting a whole lot of baking tools, and 90% of the time I end up using just the basic ones. And those are the ones I'll be sharing with you today in the video. And let me also tell you, these are not even the expensive ones. I will be sharing the price list all through the video for the tools, and at the same time I will leave the links in the description box below for you to check it out later. So let's get started. When it comes to baking, measurement is everything. Most recipes use cups and spoons to measure ingredients. And I'm not talking about the regular kitchen cups and spoons. It is important to invest in these, which come in a set of different cup measures and spoons too. They come in various materials and you can choose based on your choice. But not all cup measurements are the same. These may look good and may be easy to store too, but are very hard to clean. It's important to note here that the UK ones are 250ml and the US ones are 237ml. And if you're following recipes by the book, then 250 is the one. But most of my recipes would be the 237ml cup. And then there are times when certain delicate recipes calls for precise measurements. That's when the food scale comes in handy. I personally use both cups and a scale depending on the recipe. And for certain delicate recipes, a small difference can change your final bake. This particular model has detailed measures for more delicate recipes such as macarons. But a basic kitchen scale is all you need for your accurate baking. The one I started my journey with, and it keeps measurements precise and recipes consistent. No guesswork needed. Just perfect results. For many recipes, a whisk will work perfectly, but for others, the use of a spatula is highly recommended. A sturdy spatula is a must-have in baking. It helps you scrape every bit of batter, fold ingredients gently, and even spread frosting smoothly. The right one makes mixing effortless and ensures no waste. It's definitely a tool worth investing in. In comparison, a whisk will perfectly whip all your ingredients. You'll find them in different sizes. The large one is perfect for mixing batters, whipping cream, and even folding ingredients effortlessly. And the small whisk would be great for tiny tasks like dressings or small portions. But that's just a rare case. So you can go for the large one along with a large spatula. Next, what we have is the flour sifter. The smallest one would be used for dusting icing sugar on cakes or cookies. The medium one has a large porous holes that helps to sieve the almond flour. And the largest one has the perfect perforation for all your basic dry ingredients. So if you ever made a cake batter that had thick lumps and you couldn't get rid of, that probably happened because you didn't sift the flour. So from all of these, you can go ahead with the one with the finer mesh in big size. You can never have enough mixing bowls. As a general rule, I believe that you need 2 types of mixing bowls. Make sure first that all your bowls have a proper wide base to hold all the ingredients without toppling it over. And in comparison to the plastic bowl, it's the glass bowl that comes in extremely handy as it is scratch resistant and can maintain the temperature without getting overheated while mixing. Now in comparison to the smaller bowl, I would suggest you go for the larger one as it is useful for both small or large quantity of baking. So we have 2 types of bowls, one that is heat proof and one that is light and easy to handle all the dry ingredients. I love to collect baking tins, and I probably have too many, but the most basic one I use on a regular basis is this round tin, which is of a 6-inch size. And in a similar size I have the square tin as well, which I would use for baking my brownies. Now the third one what I have here is the springform pan. It has a collapsible bottom, which is ideal for cheesecakes, but as a beginner I'd suggest you skip this one for now and rather invest in a square or a round tin, or both. Next, what we have is the muffin pans. Ideally, it is best to start with a pan of 6 muffins with a good quality. You can use the paper liners to hold your cake batter. And similarly, you can use a larger one that comes in a size of 12, which is best for large ovens and bulk baking. Alternatively, you can use the mini bake and serve muffin liners, which can easily bake in large quantities, even in a small oven. So you can decide depending on the size of your oven if you'd like to invest in a small or a large muffin tray. Next up, we have the loaf pans, the largest one holding the quantity of a large loaf bread for big orders. But I highly prefer using this size for all my loaf cakes and breads. Perfect for a small oven too. Alternatively, we also have the bake and serve loaf molds. It does have a coating to help release the cake easily, although its downside is that the base tends to burn on over baking. In addition, we also have the similar mold for a mini cake loaf as well. Overall, I'd suggest you go for the medium tin, which would be a good long-term investment. Next is the baking tray, ideal for cookies. Ideally, I prefer this carbon steel tray that helps to bake the cookies evenly without having to worry about burning them as compared to the other trays. This is the one I never use other than holding my cookies once decorated. Well, reason being, black conducts more heat and may burn the cookies faster than in the other trays. Lastly, this is the most basic aluminum tray that comes in cheap and are most durable as well. Perfect for baking with a hassle-free maintenance. Next, what we have is the cooling rack, of course. The most popular way of cooling all your baked goodies to avoid them from getting soggy while in the baking pan. Now, whether you want to demold a cake or avoid your cookies from sticking to the baking tray, it's the parchment paper that gives a perfect finish to your final baked products, and is just as useful for your no-bake treats too. It comes in different thickness and quality, therefore it's ideal to choose a good quality to help retain the texture of your baked goods. And this last little tool is a game changer. My bench scraper is the one tool I reach for all the time. It's great for handling dough, keeping the workspace clean, and even lifting ingredients with ease. Such a simple tool, but so handy in the kitchen. I also have this large one which is great for a big batch, but honestly the small one is perfect for most tasks. It's compact, easy to handle, and does the job just right. And lastly, in addition to all the tools, the most important appliance is a good oven. Since I'm a professional baker, I use 2 ovens, a 54-liter and a 40-liter. As a beginner, you may not need the 54-liter oven, but I'll still be sharing the links for both the ovens in the description box below. So I'm sure now you know the right baking tools needed to start with your baking as a beginner. And if there is a tool that you'd like to use and is not mentioned in the video, do let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.